How's everybody doing? This is Ruben once again with Ulosophy. Um, Today I want to talk about a very special thing, very special subject. And this subject, it's something that I dealt with a lot in my life. And once I pinpointed exactly what it was and realized that that's not who I am and that is not helping me. This is actually a huge block, if not the biggest block in my life from having success in whatever, I call success, whether just emotional or material success, whatever. Once I pinpointed this, I was able to get out of that quote fire, right? And what we're gonna talk about today, it's I wanna call it right now a block, right? It's a block that most of us, if not all of us, have to a certain extent. And the people who are able, well, first off, the people who have this block, which is most of us, and I'm pretty 100% sure you have it. If not, you wouldn't be watching this video. Having this block doesn't help us at all. It hinders us. It sort of shortens our bliss, our enjoyment of life on this planet. Um, it causes us to look at things in such a horrific way when they're not. Um, it blocks your success for whatever that is in life, whether it's material success, whether it's emotional success, you feeling happy, you feeling blissful. It blocks relationship success, whether relationships or a marriage, and relationships, period, from friends to family, whatnot. Um, it blocks success in your work. Um, it blocks basically all the things you want. It blocks anything that you want to be, do, and have to the highest level. If you've noticed in your life, or if you're in life right now, you're looking at your life and you're like, you know, this is not where I'm supposed to be at right now. This is not where I feel I'm supposed to be at. I feel like I was destined for something more than what I have. I'm pretty 100% sure that you are correct. But it's this block that we're going to talk about and we're going to pinpoint. And by the end of this video, you're going to be able to pull it out. And this video will help you feel that bliss again. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Now, for some of you, you may need to watch this video again and again, a couple of times, just so you can really see the revelation. But once you see it, it's like that light bulb goes off in your mind, right? Oh, that's what it is. Um, and it's sort of, I don't want to say it, but I have to say it because it's sort of, that's probably the best word I can find right now to describe it. But this is more like sort of, it cannot be taken in context. It has to be taken more like in spirit, more like unconsciously, more like your higher self, right? Has to be taken in that sort of way, not in context. Because when you take it in context, um, it can really hurt you and really make this block not only stay but make it bigger and live a very dissatisfying life. which is what I went through for a long time. I tried everything under the earth, from reading books to going to seminars to meeting certain people who I felt had some guidance to offer me in life, talking to different people, watching different videos, buying different courses. I've done it almost all, you know. Since I was 13 or 12, I've really had trouble with what we're going to talk about. Um, and it wasn't not too long ago that I found the answer. And I'm free. Not saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. And that's part of of the whole context of this idea. If you want to chew on something right now, if you feel like I'm talking too much, just sort of a piece of it. But at the same time, realizing that and accepting that, but also realizing that that's the power that it's hidden behind the veil that you can't see. Right? It's like none of us are perfect, accepting it and realizing that is the power behind it. Now, don't, turn off the video or think I'm about to go into something you probably already heard before. If you heard it before, then, you know, you your life has changed. Like, you really are in a different state. Or maybe you felt it and you found it and sort of like, you know, you, how can I say it? You lost it, right? It's like you didn't realize that that power is within you. That kingdom is within you. And you sort of like go back to the old ways, to the ways that have been going on throughout history. Just to give you an idea, throughout history. And this is what has hindered us throughout history. This is a big thing we're talking about here. And it's just one thing. It's one thing that you can do and realize. One thing that you have to realize, and your life will change. You don't have to spend countless dollars or money for it. You don't have to travel across the world for it. You don't have to feel like you need to find the right person to fill it or to eliminate it. It can happen. And it's, once you see this video, you realize it. You will realize it. The success that we want in life, we're all different. And as I have mentioned many times before, there's no right and wrong when it comes to dreams, goals, and desire. We're all different. Some of us may, want to be an artist, maybe drawing or painting. Some of us may be into technology, so maybe computers is our thing, or whatnot. Some of us is carpentry. Some of us is clothing, maybe designing. Some of us is, making videos here, talking. Some of us, cutting hair, whatever it is. There's no right and wrong when it comes to dreams, goals, and desires. And the way you reach that, it's by having wisdom, gaining wisdom, having wisdom. That wisdom could be defined in many ways, from spirituality to actual knowledge. It just depends. At the end of the day, it's really spiritual, because it's really something that's it's sort of like a feeling that executes, that allows you to fuel up and then have the energy necessary to execute whatever you need to. So it's really wisdom, but it could also be defined as knowledge. So once you have that wisdom, that knowledge, then you can start executing and making your dreams possible. Before you do that, you need to get rid of what we're going to talk about today. And after today, you don't, for you to gain that wisdom, for you to gain that knowledge, whatever it is, to make your dreams come true, you will now be able to do it. To put it very simple. And it doesn't have to be philosophy. It could be whatever knowledge, beliefs, spirituality, whatever you think is best for you. But if you tried several things and you don't seem to feel that they're working, then the reason is because of this block. Once we get rid of this block, then you'll start seeing things sort of click. Not only in philosophy, but anything. You could be a Christian, and now, after getting rid of this, you will start seeing Christianity work for you, or whatever belief you have. Right? I'm not here to judge. One of my favorite books of all time, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. There's a saying, and there's such a great book on communication and building relationships. See, that's knowledge, that's wisdom you can gain, but it doesn't become very. When you read it, you don't successfully, execute the wisdom and knowledge in that book because of this block. After getting rid of it, you will be able to execute it. You'll be able to finally see things click for you in whatever you do. It's unbelievable. So, in that book, it mentions, a quote. It says, for God himself doesn't judge people until the end of their days. Why should I? God himself doesn't judge you till the end of your days. Why should I? What gives me the right to judge you? I have my beliefs. I have my beliefs. I find my beliefs, my deep beliefs, to be personal to me. And it's my right to either share them or not. Just like there is your right to share your beliefs or not. So, but still, your beliefs may not be, alike to my beliefs, but what can I do, right? There's nothing I can do. I'll let God handle that, right? The universe, whatever you want to call it. That's why I always mention that. Like, I sort of mention like God references, and I say God or the universe or whatever you want to call it. That's why I keep saying that, because of the same thing. We're all different. We all, if I was raised Christian. I believe my beliefs were in my family was Christian, Catholic to be exact, but it's the Christian belief system. So my parents, that's the way they raised me, right? And I'm up to this day, I'm still Christian. I believe in Jesus and in the Christian faith. It's my belief. But if I was born, let's say, somewhere in Asia, maybe I would have been Buddhist, right? If I was born in India, I would have been Hindu. If I was born, somewhere in an Islamic country where Islam is the majority, then I would have probably been Islam, right? A Muslim, excuse me. So why should I judge people, right? Like I can't judge. So that's that. I mean that is why I reference that whatever you believe in. I give sort of like give you like allow you to realize that you have that freedom. So whatever your belief system is, once you get rid of what we're gonna talk about, you're gonna be able to see that what that works. Whatever that belief system, whether it's self-help, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, whatever it is, you'll see it start to actually work. And if you look very profound, you'll see it. You'll like start to see it in your religious text or in your self-help text, whatever. It's been there. It's there. You know, it's just not really talked about in the way it should. Some preach it a lot, but still don't give you that real clarification or real realization of what it is. So to start, I wanted to give you this introduction, sort of get you ready for what's about to come. So you'll start seeing that work, and you'll see it also in your religious text. I see this once I realized it. My life changed, and you know what? I started seeing it in my religious texts and the biblical scriptures. In my case, started seeing it there, and I saw it there before. But really, you know what? This is what it really means, and very few people sort of really have that true realization of what it means. Although it's right there. So let's start to talk about it. We, as human beings on this planet, make mistakes. We make errors and we miss the ball. A lot. A lot. Everything that you have experienced or done in this life, it's recorded within you. Sort of, I want you to imagine like a recording, like sort of it's like a recording that it's within you. And depending on many factors, which I won't go into today, because if I were, this would not be an hour and a half, whatever, audio or video, 2 hours video. It would, whatever, how long ever this is, it would have been, I could go up to 80 hours, video, just to keep talking about it, just to get every single point I have inside me out. This, this is why I have a lot of videos, because there's a lot to get out. But I really want you to experience it fully, so that's why I brought this video out. So if you want to call it our mind, or your being, whatever, it records everything you've done, from every sense you had to every emotion you felt. It sort of like records within you, right? Everything is recorded. And I give you an example. I once, when I was around, let's say 15 or 16, somewhere around there, I was involved in a car crash close to my home, close to my parents' home at the time. And it was you know, quite a crash. Um, I was in the hospital. It wasn't life threatening, but it was painful, if you want to say that, and very traumatic. I recuperated, I healed, and I noticed something very strange every time that I would drive near or in that little section where the crash was. I was coming down a certain street, and on that street it was a two-way street. So I was going, let's say, south. There was another road crossing that road I was driving. But that road that was crossing the road I was driving on had two stop signs, right? One on the left side of the road where it started, and one on the right. So if you're coming this way, if you're going that way, it had a stop sign. So I didn't have a stop sign. My road was clear. If you were driving by there, and you saw a car coming. You had a stop sign. You had to stop because in case cars were coming. So I was driving. Actually, I wasn't driving, but I was in the passenger seat. We were driving, me and a friend, and a car rammed into us. Glass broke, and we sort of hit the step of a house. That that incident was, like I said, traumatic. Every time I passed by there, I found something very strange, which was I felt those same emotions all over again. I sort of felt anxiety or negative emotion. Even when I would stop, even if I was coming on the road where that didn't have the stop sign, I sort of like still like slow down and watch for cars. Even then, when I didn't see no cars coming, still I felt it. Logically, I there's not gonna be a crash at that moment while I'm driving because I see no cars coming. I'm the only one. Why am I feeling like this? Well, remember I said that your mind sort of records everything that you go through. Another great example is I once ate a bad food. I got sick off certain food. Months later or a year later or whatever, I encountered the same food again, and I was offered the food. Even though I haven't even tasted it, nor even smelled it, I sort of started feeling sick again, and I denied having that food. Logically, there's no reason I should feel sick. Because one, it's not the same piece of food that I ate months ago or years ago. But I sort of still feel it. Still feel that sickening feeling. Why does this happens? And it's something that's rarely talked about in any type of um, improvement or self-help talk, whatever. Something really rarely talked about, period, in any talk. But the truth is that You or your mind records every emotion that you go through. Now, there's a lot of theories for why this happens. You cannot deny to me that this doesn't happen or that this is not true. You've experienced it in your life. You know, there's logical reasons why you shouldn't feel a negative emotion, but yet you feel it. It's sort of like uncontrollable. Why? It's very simple. Like I mentioned, your mind or you record is sort of like your your mind is sort of like a recording device that records every emotion and everything you go through. Believe it or not, consciously or unconsciously. Now there's many theories. One, we all can concur that this is true. And just look at the number of psychiatric medications that are prescribed every year. That should just give you sort of a ball figure of why this is true. Or how this is true, and that this is actually true. Negative emotion or trauma, um, or psychosomatic illness, what the correct word for this is real, and people are seeking help for it. Many have turned to psychiatric help, right? So there's many theories for what this is and how this happens. I don't have time to go into every single one of them or every single theory or every single reason why. The reason it happens, it's really not important. What's important is how can we get rid of it, or get rid of this negative emotion or whatever. And that's a whole nother video. I talk about it in the Ulosophy training, and this is really not the video for it. But I wanted to touch on it because what we're going to talk about has this connected to it. It's one of its main lines. So I didn't just want to throw you in there. I wanted you to realize exactly where we're going. So there's many theories to why this happens or how this happens. But just like I mentioned, when you buy a car, you don't know exactly how that car works 100%. Come on, unless you're like a guy who works for the company who built it, but even then you still don't know 100% how it works. But you don't question it, you use it, you drive it. Or when you buy a computer or some of these technological things like a smartphone or a tablet, whatever, iPad, you don't question it. You don't know how that works. How is it that I'm recording you right now? How is it that I could upload this video to YouTube and have you see it? We don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. I don't question it. I just use the tools. Same thing here. It's really not important how this happens or why this happens. The important thing is, okay, we now know what it is. How can we get rid of it? How can we move on and have this past trauma not affect us? That's the important thing. So, like I mentioned, there's a lot of theories of how this works and why this works. This recording, I think there's a lot of theories, like I mentioned. Um, one theory that I really like, not saying it's 100% true, but I feel it's sort of more towards this, is that we it's really explained very well in the Church of Scientology. Now, the Church of Scientology has been really talked bad about and really been criticized for it being whatever they call it, but it's negative. But I mean, it's just it's really a tool. If you really get down to, I'm a little bit familiar with it, um, and the creator of this church, which was L. Ron Hubbard, even he says that Scientology is not the only way for to freedom, or the only way for spiritual, realization. It's one way, but it's not the only way. It's a tool. He even said it. He said it was a tool, right, that you can use. But they have a good idea, or theory to why this happens, and it's sort of like is that's their one of their base teachings, and that is that it's really a survival mechanism. Um, it's sort of like the body or the flesh or the mind. It sort of tries to prevent you from going through